Get ready to show up with Khoolaid and Sarah. It's the Show Up Show, baby.
All right, let's go, baby. Look at this girl.
go.
You know what? I'm going to keep looking this way during the interview, FYI, because in the house, I got my homeboy, Big D. What's up? It's your homegirl, Khoolaid, along with my partner in crime,
Sarah.
That's right. And we are the
Show Up Show.
Oh, that was so like, that was our first time ever doing
was our
that
first
together. And in the house, we're trying to really impress today because we've got MC Magic.
Thank you, ladies, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. When I walked in, Khoolaid said, "I thought I was gonna match you. You're not wearing all white."
I know you.
No, but looking at your beautiful set, looks like I invaded the Powerpuff Girls.
right? No,
Welcome.
seriously, yeah. Welcome to my new magical world.
There we go.
With glitter and happiness
Yes.
and love and figuring out how the hell we're gonna get through the hard days.
That's
and figuring
right.
out through Pink and Baby Blue and MC
Yes.
Magic and our friends and collaboration. Let me ask you a question. How does this feel? Because it is definitely, you are one of the rare ones that have known me since the beginning of my career. I mean, I was
Yeah.
playing NB Riders on Q1047 when I was in Oxnard. Like
With
this
Johnny Cuervo.
so you saw the raw little hip hop version.
Yeah.
You've seen all versions of me. How does this feel in here? It's a little different.
You know, it doesn't surprise me, Khoolaid, because I've always respected your motives, your moves, how you move as well, and how you handle the heat, how you handle the pressure, and how you push forward regardless. You know, and so this doesn't really surprise me. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that. And it means the world that you and Rob have came through as my first guests, because I don't, usually me, it was like, I'm always prepared. I was like a soldier. Oh, we going to do this, that. Hey, Big D, let's go do this. Let's go do that. Now I'm calling Big D. Big D, I don't know what to do. The only thing I can do right now is show up.
Right.
And I want to keep that real. I did not expect this much love from all of you guys. And you guys, they were a big start of it, right, Sarah? That night we went out.
Absolutely.
And I reached out to Big D. I hadn't reached out to Big D maybe in 6-7 years.
Yeah.
And I said, D, I want to come out to the show tonight. And all he said was, got you. And boy, did you guys have me that night.
Amen.
You
Amen.
brought me on
Let
stage.
me tell you something, Khoolaid. I don't want to interrupt you, but just hearing you talking, it keeps triggering memories and things that I want to say. But I'm waiting for you to finish speaking to say this, and I just want to say a couple of things. Those who know, they know. Right, and so we were fortunate that we were there in that beautiful era when Chicano rap broke through. But if I had to compare Khoolaid, what Khoolaid has been to the Chicano hip hop rap music, it's like what Berry Gordy was to Motown. It really was that.
Wow.
It really was that. She was taking chances, fighting with people at radio, having personal beef in the streets, all kind of junk for the culture. I love you for that.
Wow.
I don't know how I'm going to get through this interview with this guy right here.
Wow.
I mean, am I lying?
No, but it's sometimes we need reminders of who we are, and that's where I'm at.
Amen.
I'm at that stage in life where, and I want to normalize it for other moms out there who might have put their career on hold, or people you might have taken care of your elderly parents or a sick grandparent and completely lost yourself and completely forgot who you were in that. But that's the important work. Like, really, that's the important work. That's God's work.
How much time have you taken off?
15 years.
Woo, 15 years. That's a good hot minute.
Yeah, the last real
few
thing I
minutes.
did was when we did Philly Brown, when I did the movie.
Imagine that. Look where Gina went.
Gina Rodriguez.
Wow.
and
Just recently, sorry to interrupt. Recently, Netflix brought back Jane the Virgin,
Mhm.
and my wife just took a liking to it. She's like, I'm trying to watch this before they take it off, and so she's watching Jane the Virgin. I'm like, that was Philly Brown.
Yeah.
Khoolaid helped kick off that little girl's career.
Yeah.
Gina Rodriguez.
Yeah, that movie was so special too. When they
Yes.
came with that script, and I got the script that I knew could place. It was funny because I didn't know how Hollywood worked at that time.
Of course.
And on the script, they had, Baby Bash's name. They had like all these people I align with. And the only thing I knew was Edward James Olmos was co-producing it. And I mean, come on, man. Like,
Who says no to James,
let's
right?
go, yeah. And when we were talking and they wanted somebody for the part for the mom that was like Mariah Carey and Precious, right away I looked and I was like, okay. We looked at each other and we're like, that is so Jenny Rivera. And then once Jenny came in, and then we got Lou in, then all of a sudden, the almost is Edward was like, okay, I'm going to be in the film now.
Right. Yeah.
And
And so
it just turned beautiful, and it was so neat.
what you're telling me without saying it is, how can I go from, getting my hands all dirty doing this, taking a 15-year break and be afraid to come back? Actually, I'm not afraid. I'm excited to come back. That's you.
So what you're saying and what you're coaching me through, which I do need a lot of help with, that I try and do daily, is changing the narrative in my head. When you know your head, what do you do to do that? When your head is working so hard against you and you're probably your worst enemy. I know you have those times in life.
I do. But first of all, I believe in God. God has me every day. I believe that Jesus died for our sins, and I believe when you put it there, He will take care of it. I do. I'm not just saying it. I believe it. And I believe it so much that I have that faith that even when I'm on my way to visit a record company that I've been wanting to sign to for all these years, and then on my way there, the guy from Gasoline Alley calls me and he says, you know what? We talked to so-and-so at the radio station. Let's postpone our meeting. And the meeting never happens. And so here we are going to the contract of my dreams back then. But it didn't happen. It just got like a rug got pulled out from under your feet. Even then, I'm like, God, you knew what you was doing. And when I look at it in retrospect, God knew what He was doing, and He's still doing it. So having that foundation of just knowing that God handles everything, I don't think anything else could really shake me. And I think when you have that faith, not only that, faith is a gift too.
Are you sure you're not a therapist?
Me?
Yeah. I feel
I'm the other one. Therapist me off. I'm the therapist everybody off. No, because sometimes when you tell the truth, it just cuts like a knife,
It's beautiful. Have you always lived this way? Have you always been to speak?
Yes. Uh-huh.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's beautiful because most people have these things. And Khoolaid and I had this conversation. And I just want to say, from an outsider perspective, seeing you and meeting you for the first time at the show, and this was her first night of kind of coming back out into the world, not knowing how she was going to be received, what was going to happen. I was like, let's go. We're doing this. We're going to show up and we're going to do this. And the way that you received her and loved her and welcomed her back was everything. And so to see that from the outside, I just want you to know how much I appreciate the love that you showed her, because it wasn't just in the moment, hey, Khoolaid, good to see you. It was like, this is where you're supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah. It's like seeing a family member that you haven't seen in a long time. It's real. The love is real. And, my manager, Big D, will be the first to toot the horn for Khoolaid. Because, Khoolaid went through the war for us. And that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm excited about this part. And this is where, originally when we came back and decided to do all this, it was for that healing aspect. And then Magic, what I was about. I was a West Coast writer.
For sure.
I was on my Latin hip hop, Chicano rap,
Yes,
whatever.
yes.
On the East Coast too. My just my Latino flavored game. That's my jam. And I come and I look outside to play a little bit.
Yeah.
And musically, where everything's at right now, and what you're doing with it is beautiful. Like with the coyotes, with the way I love the way you're merging all of the generations together. You've always been great at that.
Yeah, it's really just having fun. It's having fun because I love the music. Because that's really what gives me energy to keep going. It gives me that love, that reaffirmation. And to be honest with you, Khoolaid, the 14-year-olds that were supporting me when you introduced us to them are now new 14-year-olds. The thing is that my crowd has stayed in that dreamy teenage to later 20s crowd that still believes in love, and I love that.
Yes.
Yes. The generational, but then you took it to a next level of, with your crowds, it's that love, believing in love.
It is about love.
It is. Yeah.
And
it is
everything
about love.
You guys present.
Let me play something for you ladies.
Okay.
Right
Yes,
please do.
I would give my life for you. You mean the world to me. Baby, 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 baby. Ooh, I'm here with Khoolaid.
Yes. Okay, Sarah needs a little shout out on the straw.
I need a little shout out on the straw.
been
I need to know about the straw. I'm very intrigued with the straw.
Something about you, Sarah, drives me crazy. Something about my favorite therapist blows my mind. You know, I practiced that.
I'm in love.
Is your life made?
My life is made.
Okay, so
My
for the
life is
not-knowers, she wants to know how the straw works.
How did you get into the straw? What was intriguing about the
Yeah,
straw? I
one
need
time
all
I
the
went.
things.
One time I was drinking a Coke and the straw sounded no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, this is a good story.
No, the truth is that this thing is called the talk box or the voice box, either one. Talk box is the most popular term, and a man by the name of Roger Troutman, he inspired me. You know, he used to be he was the anchor, the producer, the writer, the talent behind a group called Zap, and Zap is a family, the Troutman family, made up of like five brothers that were in the original group. And you might know him from this song right here. California knows how to party. Right?
Yep.
That's Roger. He did that. But he had other songs that had more of the love feel. Those are the ones that called me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to work with Roger on one song. And after Roger Troutman passed away, I had the balls to call his family and say, would you guys consider building me a talk box like Roger's?
Wow.
And
I
they
never knew this story.
Yes. And Lester kind of responded with are you know what you're asking for? You know what the hell you're asking for? He didn't say those words, but I could feel in his voice. He's like,
Yeah.
what you mean?
Yeah.
You know? And so when I say, yeah, I'm serious and I'm willing to pay for it. And so we got through that, and he sent me a talk box. It was the equipment. And so after I started trying to play it, I sounded horrible in the beginning. But little by little, I put tape on the right keys to touch so that I remember which song said something about you, baby. And that was my first introduction to it. But what it is, Sarah, technically, it's the sound of a keyboard. And this is a vintage keyboard from the 70s, this is Yamaha DX100. It's the sound of a keyboard that goes into an amplifier. Normally, an amplifier is connected to some speakers so you can hear the music.
Mm-hmm.
In that instance, you would hear the deal, and it is connected to a speaker, but it's connected to the driver of the speaker. Behind every speaker, there's a hard driver, and that's what this is. Instead of connecting it to a paper speaker, it's connected to a hose that then sends the sound of the keyboard into the tube. If I don't say anything, it'll go. Right? But as soon as I start moving my lips and shaping it, have I ever told you, lady, that you mean the world to me? You feel me?
I do.
You feel that,
I
girl?
really do. I'm feeling all of it.
And that's what it is technically and historically. It's Roger inspired me, and luckily when I was a kid, I got to attend a couple of Zap with Roger concerts, and they just changed my life. Just being in the same room, feeling his energy, his passion for the music, and I think a lot of that was passed on to me, via his talk box.
That's beautiful. How old were you when you knew you wanted to do music?
Oh, I was like 8 years old when I knew I was in love with music.
Yeah.
I mean, I was that little kid that would take a old cassette that said the Bee Gees on it. I'd put a piece of tape over the recording bar,
Yes.
put it in there,
Yep.
put it in the cassette deck, and start recording Casey Kasem's American Top 40.
Nice.
Hi, this is Casey Kasem with a long distance dedication from Miami, Florida, to a soldier in Vietnam. Whatever
So that
it was.
that shaped also as part then of Casey Kasem of shaping your love to the dedication.
Amen. Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
We do dedications in 2024 live on TikTok. We got the phone line set up. The fans call in. Sometimes they call in. I'm, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful too.
Yeah.
But there's other times when it's the homie, it's the homie Johnny from the 818. I want to tell my baby girl Melissa. She means the world to me. Can you dedicate Lost in Love to her, bro? Bzzz.
You know what's the best thing about the dedication too, and I think about your fan base and you in general that people love about you, is being heard. Yes, you're getting your shot out, but the
Yes.
fact as a human, you are being heard.
You mean something to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
I truly feel that. But also, Kool-Aid, not sure if you know this, but in Mexican radio on La Raza, on La Campesina, whatever it is, that's general etiquette for people to call in and say, un saludo para mi raza de Michoacán. Un saludo. That's very, very normal. And you don't do it during the dedication hour. They do it all the time.
Right.
It's in every radio show, and so it's also those cultures just all blend. I'm just happy. I was just lucky to be born like that.
Well, and that gives me a perspective too, because it's like I try and figure out all the time why I'm so attracted to certain cultures or certain movements, and like hip hop being one of them. Hip hop, it's the same thing. It's that sense of community, shouting
Yes.
out, unity. It's almost like you're explaining
Yeah.
with the Latino culture and Latin
Yes.
radio and giving props and giving, so I think there's a lot of, it's
Yes.
that, as Demiza would say, it's that synergy. you
That
know?
synergy. I love
Yeah.
Demiza. Shout out Demiza. Where you
Yeah.
at, boy?
Yeah, I mean, he's another story of
Yeah,
just-
and he's another one that's got solid brass balls. You know?
Yeah. And then cared for his grandma for the last
Mhm.
15 years. And
Yeah.
it's just like, let me wake up and let me see what's out in this world again.
He's
And
definitely showing up.
yeah, he's showing up. He's showing up. We are definitely the show up show.
Yes.
All right, Magic. So let's go back to the early days. You remember your first song you ever did?
I do remember the first song I ever did. I thought, first of all, Too Short had a really popular song on the radio. So that kind of, when you first start doing music, you're like, let me do something that works. Let me do something that the people like. So an artist might start thinking, I have to do what's popular, which is really wrong.
Mhm.
You could get influenced by it, but you got to put your energy. But that being said, I thought I had to do something that was provocative and sexy and upbeat. So I made a song after I learned to program beats. I made a song called "Gimme That Hoochie Coo."
Oh, I can't imagine. Can you imagine if Magic was out there doing his one hit?
Yeah.
Big D, you were pushing him for "Give Me That Hoochie Coo." Drop the mic.
the record,
that was 10 to 12 years before I met Big D.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
fair.
that was the first song that I ever wrote, and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Thank God, right?
matter of fact,
Right.
that was
This
one of
career
those
would be very
moments.
different.
here's a story that I don't think I've ever told on a podcast. Is there was a talent show at the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix.
Wow, the
Right?
celebrity.
At
Okay.
the Celebrity Theater in Phoenix, and I signed up. I'm like, man, give me that hoochie coo. We're gonna pop off with this one, right? I was the only non-black person on stage.
Talk about
Probably-
Hoochie Coo.
Probably the only non-black in the room,
Yeah.
right? Besides my DJ assistant David.
Mhm.
And so when I take the stage and I come out with my glittery pants, imitating MC Hammer, I got booed. I got booed, and I was like, and it's funny that I tell you that.
Wow.
I
We
got
would've cheered for
booed.
you.
They're like, man, take this clown off the stage. I got booed, but it didn't break my
Yeah,
spirit.
that could have been your stopping point
Yeah,
right there.
and today in Arizona, that was in Arizona. Many call me the Arizona GOAT, the Arizona legend. It's funny that the first time that I went and did something in Arizona, I got booed for give me that hoochie coo.
How'd you push past that moment? Like, how'd you
Yeah.
feel after that
Yeah.
moment?
I've always had faith,
Yeah.
and my heart said they just don't know you yet. They just don't know you yet. Just keep pushing. And I still feel that way. When I walk into a room, I don't assume somebody knows me. I'm not entitled to your love, you knowing who I am. I walk into a room saying, I'm going to impress people. I'm going to make a new fan today. And I think that's the right attitude to have.
Yeah, and you learned from it. It was definitely a different era because we were, you were chasing the sound of radio, or because that was the only thing you could chase.
Of course, yeah.
Now, how do you feel about it? I'm sitting here and I'm trying to catch up with everything musically.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out what scene I like, and I'm like, no, I like this scene. No, I like this scene. No, I like this, because everything is so diverse. Because
Yes.
you can do that now.
Mm, It's a niche market now. It's always been niche. Hip hop used to be a niche,
Mhm.
and now it's a plethora. Is that how you say it? Plethora.
Plethora.
A plethora of niches.
She was just thinking about Sarah.
of course.
Yeah.
I wanted to rhyme with Sarah. And so, yeah. I love Chicanoism so much that my new album is called "God Bless Chicanos."
Ooh.
And I stand on that. I stand on that. That's what I believe. That's what I feel. That's the people that made me. And if anybody's got a problem with it, that's their problem,
Yep.
not mine.
Yep. And that's something that I'm kind of pulling through, and is, that my kids are Jewish and Mexican. Love it.
God bless Chicanos. And who presses CDs these days?
I love it. I love
You
it.
feel me?
I love it.
Well, what's really cool is that actually the youngsters are starting to press the CDs, and then they have been now.
Yes.
And then the tapes too, and they're bringing like physical matters to people. I'm learning that.
It really does. It's a nostalgic thing, and some people buy it, and I'll sign it right over the plastic. They're like, "That's cool, bro," because I'm not going to open it anyway.
Right. I'm just gonna keep this.
Yeah, and so that's a beautiful thing too.
Now let me ask you a question, because it's like, okay, so I grew up thugging it out, Big D, like with DJ Quick, Dub C, like that whole culture, and just being attracted to that whole culture. Yeah. And then later on, I was attracted to the whole Chicano culture and the flavor of it. And that was part of when I was coming back into the world. I wasn't sure of what direction I was going to take. My kids are Jewish and Mexican, but I felt like, I don't want to come in and be considered. I was worried about, I hate the word, but culture vulture. And then I can come back out and I'm like, no, this is my people. This is my passion. This is what, like, this culture excites me. How do you feel about that when somebody that might not be from the culture transforms and loves it like that?
The whole culture appropriation, culture vulture thing, I think it's a perspective thing. Some people, like say, for example, I'm going to give you this. There's a couple of ladies that started this organization. It got super big. It was a nonprofit. They got millions and millions. Now they own mansions and this and that. They started this movement called Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. And so at one point, every black person felt like they represent us. Black lives do matter. And I'm not taking any away from the message. I'm just saying these girls took that and they turned it into a personal profit. They were going to collect these millions for people. It turns out that they were a big scam. And so they put a Band-Aid on a bad activity to get over. Now, everything is not that.
Sure.
And something is genuine, like Miklo. Miklo from the movie, he was Mexican, a white Mexican, but he was Mexican. Yeah. And you couldn't tell him otherwise.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell him otherwise. So, there's a saying in Mexico, and it was brought by a woman. I can't give her name right now. Chavela Sanchez may be her name. I couldn't be messing up her last name. But Chavela came, I think she was born like in Honduras or something. But she was raised in Mexico, and she feels 100% Mexican. And this is maybe 40s, okay, 50s, something. I don't know what exact time period. But she made up a saying that still to this day is very popular in Mexican. And it says, "Un mexicano nace donde le da la pinche gana," which says a Mexican can be born wherever the hell they want to be.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's my new T-shirt.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Well, you know what mine was always, yo soy judía, but mi corazón es chicano.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. And it's like the saying, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so wherever you're at, that's where you're at.
Yeah. And I'm definitely West Coast thugging. Yeah. I'm definitely loving
and
my
who could
culture.
who could tell you you're not Mexican when your children are Mexican?
That's a whole nother subject.
That's a whole nother
You
subject.
feel me?
Yeah.
And so people are always going to have opinions, but everybody's got an asshole too.
Yeah.
Fair. Fair. Some might even have too.
Okay, Magic, you're out there killing it on the road, right? And this tour you have of the brotherhood and that you guys that you independently, how many times I've given you your kudos.
Thank you.
For just picking it up, you and D, and being like, nah, this is what we gonna do. And you can continue to circulate that love over and you guys could do this for decades. How does that feel? And what does the future of that look like?
You know what? Every day feels like a brand new beginning. So even though people say, oh my God, you made it already, I'm just beginning the rest of my life. And so every day is a new beginning, and I take it as such. Now, when we started doing it, it wasn't like, I have this brilliant idea. We're going to bring back Chicanoism, and we're going to have this tour with Bash, Magic, and Rob, and we're going to sell out from LA to New York. And we have, right? And blah, 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 blah. No, what it was is you do things out of necessity. And me and Big D were getting to the point where a club promoter would hire us, and we would get there, and there'd be no mics. Oh yeah, my homeboy's got a mic, and we'll be at club, Club Cheetah. Was it what? We'll be at Club Cheetah and XYZ, and the quality of the sound system was bad. The stage was about this high, so the drunk girls could just touch me, and they did.
Yeah.
And so the quality of the events were going downhill.
Yeah.
And I remember telling Big D, I said, I'm tired of this shit. We're gonna take over our concerts, and we're going to just start our own movement. It was for us. It's out of necessity,
Yeah.
out of not settling for what was available to an old Mexican Chicano artist that's radio career had ended 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we're gonna take over. And then fortunately, YouTube came along and blew up. The internet came along and blew up. And so we were able to reconnect with fans and make new ones and start this campaign of putting on these concerts. And it just made sense. I remember Big D, one of his first questions was like, yeah, we could promote our own concerts, but we need an investor.
Hmm.
We need an investor to do this because you can't do it for free. I mean,
It's
right
scary.
right now, concerts, just a simple concert could cost us, from $40,000 to $100,000. A simple concert, not an extravagant one. A 40 to 100 grand to put it on. And I told him, you know what? One step at a time, we're going to fund it ourselves. And we did. And we're here. And we have no bank loans. We have no sugar daddies. We have no investor. None of that. We did it, him and I. And it took a long time. And I'm proud of what we established.
Yeah.
But just like anything else, once the kite is flying, anyone wants to grab the string and say, hey, let me fly the kite.
Yep.
It took a while to get that kite in the air, baby.
Yeah.
That's right.
So are you going to do more shows? Are you guys going to do more concert?
Oh,
promotion?
yeah. If I wouldn't do shows if I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I love the energy that the crowd gives me. It keeps me young. I'll be 60 years old in 2.5 years, guys.
Wow.
I'll be 60 in 2.5 years.
Wow.
And I earned every year.
That's right.
I earned all of it. And so I get out there and perform because it feeds me. It gives
Yeah.
my soul the energy that I need to get through another week. My wife says I got fanitis. In Spanish, when someone's misses their mom or daddy, they call it, you got mamitis, you got papitis, and so she said, you got fanitis.
Yeah.
That's
that I'm
funny.
addicted to my fans,
Yeah.
and she's right. I
Yeah.
am because they're a reflection of the energy that I give.
And you sit out there and you sign for everybody after the shows.
It's a
and
must.
You've always connected. And actually, one of the first lives that I ever did was you did it so long ago. What were we going live on? Do you remember you came by the studio and we went live? And
the
I'm like,
first
this is so
live-
fun.
The first live that we started was on Ustream, even before Facebook had a live available.
Hmm.
So we were live on Ustream. I remember I used to call it Magic Mondays.
Yeah.
Because I'd go live on Mondays, and then my wife said, well, since you're doing live on Mondays, why don't you get in the kitchen on Tuesday and call it Tasty Tuesdays? And the first time I burnt the chicken, she's like, forget Tasty Tuesdays.
Tasty like Mondays it
Tuesdays
is.
done.
Yeah, but it was on Ustream when we started going live.
How did you balance all these years, fatherhood and being able to connect? I know from what I saw, you brought your kids on the road a lot
Mhm.
with you and you taught them the game, which I always admired. But how did you balance that? How did you balance keeping your marriage together with the life you had
Yeah.
and have
Yes.
and the kids?
Well, me and Kiki will be celebrating 30 years in 2025.
Wow. Congratulations.
So we'll be celebrating 30 years of marriage. We got to do something special to celebrate that. But it's also the 30th year of my debut album. So it's a double whammy for me in 2025. Balancing, I'm going to give all the credit to my wife because I'm the type of guy I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And she just got to fall in line or get pissed off or whatever. But even when she didn't agree with me, she still stood by me.
Wow. So then you're giving all the credit to her patience. And then what about fatherhood? Like how did that change you?
Fatherhood, me and my kids, without sounding corny, we're just best friends. We're homies.
Yeah.
Without sounding corny, we are. I mean, when we're all four of us are together, I have three sons, Marco, my oldest, Daniel, and Antonio. And when we're all four together,
Yeah.
the room is like if we're in a restaurant, if we're at a movie, we're just irritating because that's how much we love each other.
Yeah.
And we don't care. We don't care what people say, and that's important. That's important that you reminded me of this right now. When Daniel was in the second or third grade. Second or third grade. Daniel's 27 now. When Daniel was in the third grade, we would listen to whatever Poppy was listening to on the way to school, when we were cruising on the ride, wherever we're going. So he would go to school, and I remember he told his friends that, you heard of Eminem? And he was listening to Eminem, like all vulgarity and everything
Right. Mhm.
back then, because that's what I was listening to. So
Yeah.
he was turning his kids on, and we got in trouble at the private school where he went to. We got in trouble because Daniel was bringing inappropriate music to the other little kids in the third grade.
He was what was the name of the first single?
Yeah.
He was bringing in the Hoochie Coo. What was the name of the first?
Give me that hoochie
Yeah, give me
coo.
that
No,
hoochie
no, he was bringing in the Eminem stuff.
Yeah, nobody was bringing in. That was his
Give me
version.
that
Give me
hoochie
the
coo.
Hoochie
Yeah,
Coo.
yeah. And I was still able to go with "Give Me That Hoochie Coo," but I turned it into a love type of hoochie
Right.
coo. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Because the lyrics of "Sexy Lady" are about making love.
Yeah.
You know, the lyrics
Yeah.
of "Sexy Lady" is about making love. So I just had to creatively be like Babyface. I don't know if you know Babyface's repertoire,
course.
Yeah.
right? I had to be like Babyface. I had to smooth it in a certain way. You know?
That's right.
Okay.
I just had this conversation. I have a 15-year-old. And so him and his friends were over and they were talking about girls and liking girls and this one and this one. And they were playing music. And I was like, listen, boys, there's no fucking two bitches in the corner. We're not taking stuff without permit. Like, we're asking permission. I was like, we're going to play them some Jodeci. Now we're going to play them some Magic.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to what it looked like when it was romance and it was
Yes.
beautiful and it was opposed to what it had. Some music, not all, what some music has become.
Yes.
And our youngsters don't know. Like, your
course.
daddy caught me off of making me a mixtape.
Of
son,
course.
Of all
Ooh,
the good
mixtape days.
all the
Come
good
on now.
things, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But today, what's happening today with these kids,
Yeah.
to me is, I don't like it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, but I'm also going to flip the
Thank
pancake
you.
on
Please
you.
do.
Thank you for
I'm
doing
gonna
that.
flip the
Please do.
pancake on you
Both ways.
because back in the day when people were listening to, I'd say the old folks were listening to Rick James say, "Cause she's a super freak,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
she's super freaky." They're like, "Oh my God, that's so inappropriate."
Right.
But she was a super freak,
Yeah.
and so
okay.
And can
We
you
like
be
some
a freak? Can we be a super freak? Okay, so let's go here. Magic, let's go
Let's go
here.
here.
Okay?
Let's go.
'Cause can we be a super freak? And can we still be a respected lover? I mean, she's a widow.
yeah,
I'm divorced, 48 years old. Can you imagine right now trying to figure out your career? I'm just figuring out for the first time. I tried to, they've been encouraging me. You know, I was with the same man for 28 years. They've been encouraging me to get out and find my womanhood. And I did. I got my heart broken a little bit.
a
Didn't
little
do it. I
dramatic,
didn't
but-
do it. I did know it hurt.
It hurt, but I don't think you got your heart broken. That's a
I
little
think,
dramatic.
yeah, the heartbroken was more from Sarah believes the other traumas that haven't healed yet that I'm
yes.
dealing with. It moved a little faster than I thought it would move.
Fair.
I'm not that type of person
fair.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of like, where's the respect with men? Like how fast should we not be moving? I want to make you and Bash, first conversation Bash had with me when he saw me was, cool, I can't have you be a thought. You're my sister. We have a legacy to continue. Let's go. Like that really was his concern.
Amen.
But how can I still be a woman? How can Sarah still be
Yeah.
a woman? Find our happiness, make the mistakes, fall on our face.
Yes,
be like,
yes.
why did we do that? Still be able to turn to God, be like, this is going to be okay, even
Yeah.
though we might have done something that we know damn well after a couple shots of tequila, God wouldn't have liked.
Yes.
how
yes.
I'd like you to take "we" out of that sentence and just say "I."
Girl,
Don't
listen
speak
to
for
me.
me.
Get me involved in
We
this
can-
story that
no,
she's trying to
Wait a minute.
I took
Don't
a shot of
don't
tequila.
Okay, we won't remind you about our night out. We won't go there.
Hey.
We won't go there. And our
Sarah-
our
Sarah
$50
says, I have a therapist
Yeah, that's
reputation.
Right,
to
I've got a
protect.
license
our
to maintain. Love
$50
you, buds.
that you still owe me, babe, but we won't go there, bro.
Okay, fair.
So yeah. All right,
You guys are,
Okay, fine.
you
Wait,
guys are
back
on
to
fire. No, you guys are on fire.
Help us with this. But you see where we're at. We're at this energy of life. Like, how do we navigate this? How do we?
We don't understand the dating culture now.
Oh yeah.
There's
We're from the 90s.
there's a couple of thoughts because you guys said a lot. There's a
Yeah.
couple of thoughts,
We usually do.
and the one thing I want to say is, even in hip hop, there's a saying. You know, I want a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
Right.
Mhm.
A lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. I think every man wants that type of woman. And And that being said, there's just that because you brought up Jodeci. Come on now.
Come on now.
I
Talk to
want
me.
to freak you.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, I'm gonna leave that there. And then the other thing is sometimes we overthink things.
Mm.
We just have to let the sun shine. You feel me?
So then it's okay if we feel something at some point to be in a moment or to be in the
I
moment.
think it's okay. I think because first of all, the Bible says, "Cast a stone if you never sinned."
Mm.
Let the non-sinner cast the first stone. Well, who is that? So if we're worried for someone to judge us, like they got dirt too. They got secrets too. They've done things they're not proud of, and I think everyone has. But just don't overthink it. Go with it. Your gut feeling is your realist. Your gut
Alright,
feeling is
Right,
your
you're in the
realist.
moment.
So
Live in the
it's-
moment.
So it's okay
Mhm.
to live.
You have
Love,
to.
laugh,
Yeah.
take maybe a couple shots of tequila. My kids are teenagers now. Find myself unapologetically.
I think as a mom,
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest fear is what are my kids gonna say, which is so respectable.
Yeah.
Which is so respectable because I've always had a saying myself as well. If I can't do it in front of my children, I shouldn't be doing it.
Well, come on now, though.
Huh.
Now you're really making us
Right.
home. Yeah, look, even Big Deal.
Yeah.
Eyebrows went up on that one.
There's a few things we
Okay,
gotta
okay,
be able
okay,
to
yeah,
do
let's-
on.
yeah, let's-
But I'm talking outside the house. Outside
Yeah,
the
Let's
house.
add an amendment to that one.
Okay, we'll add an amendment to that one for you.
Yeah, maybe that's something. Maybe that was
Yeah,
a
might
little,
be stretching it.
Now, in this context, you feel me?
Fair.
No, we got him flashing a little
Fair.
bit.
No.
Okay, so then let's ask the question, the dating question, the age.
Okay. So I'm stepping out. I show up to a magic show. I'm trying to impress like some dude, right? And I'm like, bring my little boo thing. What is too young for?
No, I think we're going to go someplace different with that. I think we show up to a magic show, and the beautiful thing about magic shows is that it's all ages. I saw all ages.
You did.
I saw dads, I saw their kids, I saw maybe their kids,
Yes.
some friends.
Okay.
So we show up to a magic show,
Mhm.
and a man approaches her, and the dad
You're
and the
just
son.
fooling yourself. You
Well,
always put the whole shit on
No,
me.
no, I'm asking. I'm not making any judgments here.
So he wouldn't
The
approach
dad-
Sarah.
No, this is her.
Our Sarah, thank you, Magic.
The dad and the son approach.
Okay.
Does she have to go for the dad or the son, or
Oh,
where's she at
wow.
with age?
I mean, I'm not in Kool-Aid shoes.
Okay.
Where's the lowest we can date without? Where should we be? And where's the highest?
I mean, if you ask R. Kelly, he said age ain't nothing but a number.
We're not asking R. Kelly anything.
Okay, Aaliyah sang
Okay,
it.
yeah,
Age
you're
ain't
right.
nothing but a number. I mean, that's that.
Mhm.
That's that. But I think
To protect our heart.
I trust your judgment.
Please don't.
Please don't.
No.
We're already starting on a problem.
When it comes to this, I'm so lost, and I
Only
need you guys
because-
to guide me, and I need you guys and the
Yeah,
Lord to
yeah,
protect me. I need my
right.
brothers and the Lord to protect me
Yes.
through this process.
But I trust your judgment because I don't have to live with the consequences.
Fair, I do. So let's rethink this.
Yeah. So you definitely have to play. If you're playing soccer, you got to play soccer. You can't bring a baseball bat. So every situation is individual,
Okay.
and sometimes we do overthink things, and mess things up too.
Yeah.
and
And
mess
that's
things
okay,
up.
right? That's part of the
Yeah.
process.
Again, if it wasn't meant to be, it ain't gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah. Part of the process.
Yeah.
So,
As long as you show up, you're good.
when do you think? Yep.
See?
That's what
We
it
just
is.
gotta
We
show
just
up.
got to keep showing up.
That's
That's
it.
right.
And so, when do you think guys mature, like enough to be
Handle
ready
a mama.
to handle?
Yeah, I'm the wrong person to answer that one because yeah, I'm 57 going on 58, 57 and a half.
Yeah.
I'm 57 and a half and sometimes I still act like, a 14-year-old, 15-year-old. And so I don't know because I think at heart we're all youthful forever.
Yeah.
Mm.
At heart, we're all youthful forever. I've seen my wife loves this TikTok channel where the kid asks 80 and 70 and 90-year-olds what their advice is.
Yeah.
And,
love that one.
And they all and I've heard so many of them say, I still feel 21. In my heart, I'm still 25 years old.
Yeah.
And so I get that. I understand that. Because everything is perspective, Kool-Aid. I mean, when I was 15 years old, a 25-year-old was old.
Right.
Yeah.
When I hit 30, I'm like, well, maybe 30's not that old.
Right.
And then when I hit 50, I'm like, I was young this whole time. I'm so stupid.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so it just is, everything is perspective. And if you ask a 20-year-old, about someone being 30, they're like, oh, I dread turning 30. Girls have that 30 marker.
Yeah.
That's when they say their biological clock starts ticking or whatever
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
And so it's all perspective. It's all perspective. Not only that, how well you take care of your body, your health, not only your mental health, but your actual physical health. What you put into your body is very important.
Okay.
Sure.
And so, like I said, it's hard to just put a number on anything and be like,
Right.
okay, once you're 40, you need to start acting, like that. It's all up for a discussion.
Okay, so then I'll just have my panel of brothers decide who's allowed in
And who's
and
not.
who's not.
There you go. And if you want to run it by Big D, he's always got a good. He's a good judgment of character.
Run by Big D.
We're gonna
Big
definitely
D,
run it by
Big D
Big
will
D.
not like anybody for me. I already know. Big D will
Hey,
just check
Yeah,
everybody.
you can just ask
before.
J-Rocks.
Yeah.
No one's good enough for her, according
Yeah.
to Big D.
Yeah, I mean, Big D takes care of his people like nobody else. And how's that relationship been? I mean, you and your manager, business affairs, like he's so much more than a manager. He's amazing human. Brother.
Yeah, I have 6 sisters, so he's truly the brother that I never had. So we are brothers, and we can read each other's mind almost. He'll call me and say, "I know what your answer is on this, but I'm gonna run it by you anyway." And so that's the kind of relationship that we have. When it comes to friends, I have tons of friends and people that I would call brothers, but actually the bond that me and Big D have, I think this is he started working for us the last year of MB Riders, which was 04.
Yeah.
So this is 20 years right here. 04 to 24 is 20 years. And so, we're
It was 04 when we
we're
met.
connected. We're connected for real.
Yeah.
And like if he makes a judgment call on anything, I don't have to question it. I don't have to question it because I know he's got my best interest.
Right.
And likewise me with him. Sometimes I'll have to tell him, hey, you shouldn't do that because XYZ. And I don't reprimand him much, but he'll say, I see your point. I see your point,
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, your musical journey is definitely merging with a lot of these new school cats. We touched on that a little bit. Who are you feeling right now? I mean, because there's just, oh my God, it's magical out there.
Yeah, there's so much talent out there right now. And, it's funny that you said it because every day I'll discover somebody new.
Right?
And so there's so much talent out there, but I'm in it for the marathon. I'm in it for I'm a spontaneous person. I may be sitting with you today. Tonight, somebody might say, hey, if you come to the studio tomorrow, Sunday, we could record this. And you might catch me posting that I'm in the studio with Rowdy Rax or somebody.
Oh,
you feel me?
You said my favorite word right now.
Yes.
Okay.
I love Rowdy because he's got a good energy.
So let's do it.
He's got a good energy.
You haven't done anything with Rowdy yet?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
That would be, yeah.
I
And
got-
he's a good
I got to
kid,
meet
too.
him.
Yeah.
I got to meet him at a podcast.
Yeah.
And so we talked about it. We said we're going to work together, but just haven't initiated that situation.
That whole
yet.
camp, you have to meet the guy who brought that all together, this
Yeah.
kid Ocho. Do you know Ocho? Did you meet Ocho?
I know
yet?
Ocho on the beats.
Oh God, man.
Yeah.
Well, the kid Ocho who's bringing everybody together, the promoter, the young promoter.
Okay, I mean, you might be another. It might be another
Ocho.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch what he's doing and his ear for talent and the way he's guiding like unity. Like,
Shout
it's
out
sick.
to Ocho.
Yeah, he's
And that
killing
whole
it.
camp. I don't know all of them. I just know Rowdy.
Well, I discovered them all through first finding Rowdy.
That's
I
awesome.
went through. My son had played a playlist for me.
Yeah.
and he's like, "Mom, your music's banging right now. Like you guys are out there."
Yeah, it is.
and he started showing me. And when I
Yeah.
heard Rowdy, it was like, how I always pick
Yeah.
somebody, like, I always have
Yeah.
my Mr. Shadow or my
Yeah.
lyricist. I'm like, Rowdy, this is the dude who spits
Yes.
fire.
Yeah, I love what they're doing, and I like the fact that they still take the old school beat and just revise it and refresh it and make it feel brand new.
And that's the whole West Coast right now. How
That
do
is
you
the West
feel
Coast.
about that? I mean, and then the unity of it. Let's talk about that because that was a big deal to me. So when I went to Rowdy's birthday party and I showed up and the Meet the Whoops were there and everybody's around, I'm like, what is going? We got Bloods and Crips together. We got Mexicans and brothers together. What is happening? What alternate
Yeah.
universe am I in? There was no tension. Like, how do you feel about where and how active the West Coast? Because I consider Arizona, Arizona, Texas.
It is. Yeah,
That's
it is.
still- yeah.
Yeah, we're
Still-
closer to Cali than to New York
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. It's. I mean, but that's still. I consider that Cali West Coast.
Yeah. Well, number one, I'm proud of it. And I love it because, whatever little pebble I was able to contribute to the wall, I was a little part of it. You know
Oh,
what
are
I'm
you
saying?
kidding? You
you
were
were
a big part of it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And I'm happy because the West Coast had such a magical era with Dr. Dre, with Ice Cube, with West Side Connection, DJ Quick, all those, Tupac, and such a magical era that really changed hip hop. It led it in a different direction, you know? And so the fact that that entity is going to have a day in the sunlight again, it's a beautiful moment,
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
And
moment.
that there's so many Mexican faces
Yes, there is.
that are a part
Yes,
of
there is.
this. To me, is
Yeah.
just
I mean,
you don't need a niche anymore. You don't.
Of
I don't need to
course.
fight. I don't need to come out here with my dukes
Yeah.
up fighting. I can
Yeah.
just come out and be like, oh,
Yes.
Rowdy's hard. Oh,
Yes.
Yellow Hill's hard. Oh, Meet the Whoops are hard. Oh, everybody's on the
Yes.
playground. What am I gonna do? What am I
Yeah.
gonna be when I grow up? Sarah, I know we were here for the healing part, and I am so here for that part of it. But boy, are the streets and the music and hip hop and the culture calling me, and I'm here for it.
It's
And I'm
amazing.
so excited. And
It's
to
amazing.
have you here, Magic. Any last tips you might give that young artist? Because it's so tough. You're looking at the numbers, you're looking at what everybody else looks like, you're constantly judging yourself. What is
Mhm.
your advice?
My advice is be true to yourself. If you were influenced by a DJ Quick and Marvin Gaye, find a nice middle of that.
Love
You
that.
see what I'm saying? So take your mom and dad's music, your grandma's music, and today's music. Take everything you feel, put it in a pot, and then make it you.
Love that.
You really got to put you into it though, because when you just copy and paste another rapper, I mean, there's some raps out there that are just copying Drake's lines, copying Future's lines, and just recycling them, just adding your city instead of theirs. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to be a little bit more creative than that. And if it was easy, everyone would do it. So be prepared because it is a journey. It's not just an overnight success. That's one thing about today's instant gratification timeline, where your likes come in at a certain rapid speed, that a lot of people want instant gratification.
Right.
And if it comes easy, you lose it easy too.
And I think it speaks to something that you talked about earlier, right? And doing what was true to you, what
Yes.
felt authentic to you,
Mhm.
versus the society now, like you said, where we're getting instant feedback. Oh, we have 5 likes. Oh, they didn't like this one. Oh, they didn't. And we get driven by this feedback that we're
Of
getting.
course.
But for you, it seems to me that your life, your career, everything you sort of do, not sort of, everything that you do comes from a place of you're doing it for you. And that's beautiful. And that's really powerful. And I think that that's what makes you you. And that's the magic behind it, is because it's for you. So it's authentic and it's coming from you, and people resonate with that and they're attracted to that. And I think that that's why you have had the longevity that you've had, and you have people that love you at the level that they love you, because it's clear from the outside that
Yes.
this is truly you and this is truly your soul, and you're sharing that with the world.
Wow, that's a
Beautiful.
big compliment.
Yeah.
All I can say is thank you, Sarah. And you just gotten prettier by the minute here.
I have some authentic friends, when I look at it.
It's the truth. And,
Yeah.
and in a world where everything is make believe now and everything is for show, to have somebody that is willing to be vulnerable, because as an artist, you're willing to be vulnerable. You're sharing your heart with the world, and whether they like it or they don't, for you isn't the defining factor in what you're sharing. You're sharing because that's just who you are.
Yes, amen. And you just reminded me of something. I've said this in an interview before, but I want to say it again because it's really powerful. I wrote this little song called Lost in Love. I wrote Lost in Love probably 5 years before I brought out Nasty Boy Click, which was before NB Writers, okay?
Wow.
So I wrote Lost in Love a long time
Did you
ago.
say nasty boy clit?
Nasty Boy Click.
Oh, I was
Isn't
like,
it great? Okay,
wow,
so
we're really
the
moving
best
in different
thing-
directions
The
here.
best thing, we call these the goose moments. These are our
Yes.
goose moments. And the
Sarah.
best thing about
Listen,
that
I
was her
wanted to go.
nickname when she was little. The
Sarah.
best thing about Sarah is that I'm bringing her into my world, and she's bringing me. Same things are going to happen because some of her world, I'm completely do not know.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it, is she gets to see you for who you are.
Yes.
The nasty boy clit.
Yes. But
Or
listen,
click, whatever you prefer. I'm
but
here for
Sarah,
it.
I do want to say this. I have been at the Nasty Boy Clit too.
Okay, fair. I would like to have that conversation next.
We're going to just
Yeah.
Okay.
over that.
Scratch
So
that.
what I'm
Okay.
saying is, before Nasty Boy Click,
Yes.
before NB Riders, I wrote this little song called Lost in Love. And many, many people said, this is good, but I can't support it. Radio, especially. This is
Mhm.
good, but it's for the Chicanos, not the mainstream. Blah 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 blah. And and in that moment, when I brought out Lost in Love, the most popular group out was NWA with "Fuck the Police."
Mm.
Talk about
Mhm.
knowing, believing in something
Yep.
to where I was polar opposite to what was going on.
Yep.
You know,
Wow. So was that the first time Lost in Love was dropped?
the first time it made waves on radio, a DJ by the name of Kid Corona had given me a little, like he broke the rules. He played something local.
Uh-huh.
He put it on the air. It blew up. Just so happened that the radio station he was working at in Tucson, Kid Corona, thank you for
I
this,
remember Kid Corona.
it was owned by Art LeBeau.
Hmm.
And so this little song that he took a chance on
Yeah.
blew up so much that one night
Yeah.
that now Art LeBeau was like, what is this song that everyone's calling for?
Art was the best at that. He
Oh
was
my
so
God.
cute.
Art is amazing.
Like when Locked Up dropped, I remember he was like, "So what's this Locked Up song?"
Yes.
The whole conversation that night at the Rainbow Room
Yes.
was about Locked Up. Like he'd find songs that he just knew were people's
And-
songs.
and Kool-Aid, who could go on their radio station, from Mariah Carey to the Eagles?
I mean,
Right.
crazy. But that goes back to
To
what
MC
you're talking
Magic.
about.
Right.
Playing for you and what
Yes.
you believe in.
Art
Like,
LeBeau's playlist was the realest.
right.
Yeah.
When I first got my gig in radio,
Uh-huh.
one of my first gigs was doing it was second after Q1047.
Yeah.
Was doing mornings in Fresno. And Michael Newman, who was a big consultant, I don't know if you remember
I
Michael.
know Michael.
Okay, Michael's
New
the man.
music server.
Yes, yes. So Michael's the man. Michael told me when your paycheck bounces, when you're doing small market radio, that's when you know you're in trouble. Well, first week, my paycheck bounces. And there was this big drug bust, and there were drugs in the walls of this
Damn it.
radio station.
Damn
And
it.
here I am moving out to Kerman, not even Fresno.
I know where
for the
Kerman
first
is.
time in my life, and the station was programmed by Greg McAttack, who I love, original
Love
K-Day.
Greg.
Yeah, that's my man. And then all of a sudden, Art LeBeau comes in and buys the radio station, and I go from this hardcore hip hop radio station to Busta Rhymes, "Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See," into some oldies.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
Went from Busta Rhymes to
Yeah.
I'm wishing on a star. And you know what? That's how my Spotify playlist
right.
is.
Yeah.
And I say that because my kids laugh at me because I only have one playlist. It's the shit that I like.
Yeah,
You know,
all of
yeah.
it.
And it could go from the Eagles to Sade.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sade to Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, that's the power of music. There's only two types of music. The good music and everything else.
That's right.
Okay, so here's my philosophy then for us on dating. I think that maybe when we're out there, I should not be thinking as Rowdy Rax, but a little more John Denver, Sade.
Okay, you can't do
And
John
then when
Denver
it
and
comes to-
Sade. Like, are you
when it-
Sade or are you John
Yeah.
Denver? Those are
Well,
very
I don't know because
different.
I don't want to just say Sade because Sade can get you a little
I love
nasty.
Sade.
I'm going Sade.
But if
I'm
we
gonna
go
take Sade. You can have
but
John
that's
Denver.
gonna make us nasty. That's gonna
Speak
make
for
us
yourself.
nasty.
Again, you speak for yourself, honey buns.
Girl, you're the one who always tries to step up my nasty. I'm gonna not let you do this. You always want details of everything in life. You
True.
always want to give me advice on
True.
what I should be doing,
True.
on what I should. You are the
True.
nastiest of them all, Scorpio. So don't try and play. me at all.
Wow.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a therapist and a
Wow.
Scorpio, but I'm
Yeah.
a dedicated one.
You
Yeah,
know,
let's be
listen, I'm
clear
going
on
to say
that.
something. And I hope I don't offend.
No, there's zero chance that you
Some
will offend
dudes are
us.
on the lookout for a cougar.
We're learning that, but then some dudes
I'm-
are on the lookout for the conqueror of a cougar. So it's finding the ones that just want to conquer it, and are that just really want something real that you really connect with.
Yeah, I think you are more venturing into wanting to be a cougar. I am not
No,
interested
you
in wanting to be a cougar.
Rawr.
I've got zero
Magic,
desire to
Magic.
be a cougar.
She's the one who started this gangster
I
rap
said, we'll
shit in
try
the
it.
30s.
We
No,
will try.
She started it, and then I said, "Hell no, I could talk to anybody in the 30s." And she said, "You don't know," because
did.
she was like, just wanted me to go along with. You see this? How I have
Yes.
to
Yes.
once I call her on
No.
her shit.
No.
And then so I went out, and I'll tell you, I did kind of. I like the energy of it. I like.
Great. That's good for
I
you.
like, but I don't like. Yeah, I like the energy.
You don't
of
like
it.
what happens after.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're both beautiful, amazing. You're young, and you're only gonna make reality what you feel you want to make reality.
She gonna stick with the sons, and I'm gonna stick with the daddies.
There you go.
I don't know. You keep saying that. See, I told you she's trying
Wow.
to make me.
Here, I brought some gifts. I
Okay.
brought an MC Magic goodie bag.
Oh,
Back where I live.
Does it have a nasty boy clit in it?
might have a pocket rocket in here. How about a tumbler?
Oh,
How about an MC
yes,
Magic tumbler?
So good.
yes, I love it. Magic always has cool.
And you know, for when you get pretty, I got the official pretty girl
Wow,
makeup
look at
palette.
you,
Look
lover
at that.
boy. You
Yeah.
really do have it.
designed by yours truly, MC Magic.
Wow.
Love it.
You design makeup. Can we talk about this
Uh-huh.
for a second?
That's they're titles of my songs, actually.
This is
my makeup
beautiful.
palette.
The things are.
Yes, we have sexy lady, we have pretty girl, we got so fly,
Sexy lady,
got more on the
girl.
way. It's a little bag.
Wow. Okay, are you this romantic in real life
I
as well?
love
I
it.
really am. And I
you?
drive my wife crazy.
You do.
I drive my wife crazy
Love this.
because she's in the kitchen going, "Ya, déjame en paz," because I'm hugging on her and I do all
Yeah.
this and stuff. And my boys, they already know how their dad is. They love seeing us hug and she's just like, she came from a family where affection was not really shown. You know, mom and dad were fighting instead of, and so it's really not normal for her. But I think that little element that I give her, even if she sometimes shrugs it off, that's what's kept us together. You know, is the fact that I'm gonna love you regardless. You could be mad at me, but
Well,
I'm
you're
gonna love you.
constantly chasing her, though. She's
Of course.
constantly making you chase a little.
And there's a good strategy too.
Yeah.
There's a good strategy too.
Yeah.
I love that your boys are seeing that as an example of what their future relationships will look like.
Yes. I'm super proud of my boys. My oldest is married, and my only my granddaughter Zoe is about to be 12 years old. That's
Wow.
yes. My granddaughter Zoe is about to be 12 years old. I think she's already 12. And she's got an older sister named Jossie. And so Marco has done an amazing job being a good daddy, and I take pride in that.
You should.
I take pride in that. He lives in Ohio with his wife Ashley and the girls, and then my two younger boys, Daniel and Antonio, they're 25 and 27, born on the same day. 25 and 27, and they're still getting their stuff together.
Sure.
They've had girlfriends, then they don't. Then we don't know. We don't know where it's going to go. Daniel currently has a girlfriend, a real sweet girl named Natalie, and we'll just see where it goes. But I think they do have a little bit of their daddy in them, being super romantic.
Well, your son's an
mushy.
artist. How's that feel to be on the road with your son now? Like,
It's-
that's crazy.
It's a great journey that I'm getting ready to plant. That we've planted a new seed and we've been watering it to grow into, to blossom into a beautiful sunflower.
It's going.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be
It's
good.
going down in the
Yeah.
streets. We got it right here. My homeboy, my brother, MC Magic, Big D,
Hey.
Sarah. It's the Show Up Show. Show up. And if you leave them with anything, any positive advice, what's the last little gem? Because you always got gems.
Before I say that, I want to tell you that whoever did your show up logo on that microphone, it looks so beautiful.
Do you like that?
I love those colors. I love the way it pops. It looks like you can lick it and it tastes really good.
I did that. I designed that.
You did that?
I did that.
Hello,
back.
hello,
back.
Kool-Aid.
Yes. Mama approved and all. And how do you like the fact that it's in the home? I want to bring everybody in the home because I want to welcome
Yes.
everybody home again. It's
Yeah.
a creative space that Rowdy Rax and MC Magic are going to make records
Yeah.
together in. And
It's amazing that you did it here in your home. And what I'm super excited about it, I'm sure you got a buffet of breakfast waiting
yes,
for us.
Yes,
totally.
of course.
Just kidding.
Listen,
I had
I ain't
7
washing the pants
I
no
had
more. I'm
7-Eleven.
back. I'm wearing the pants.
Yes. I had
So you gonna
7-Eleven
take me
coffee
for
already.
breakfast. Don't worry, we know a good spot, boo.
No, it's all love. But the last thing that I want to say, guys, never lose faith in yourself because God is in you, and the faith in whatever you're doing, whether it's in the entertainment, whether it's keeping your family alive, whether it's getting through these tough financial times, whether it's looking for a good mate for the rest of your life, or just a good time for the weekend. Don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. You got to do you. And the fact that you guys have each other, I think you guys can be all right.
True fact.
Thank you, Magic. We
God
love
bless you,
you.
ladies.
Get ready to show up with Kool-Aid and Sarah. It's the Show Up Show, baby.